All right, guys, so it's time for me to give my own little opinion, which of course is going to be in the same vein as everyone else. I am most definitely a veteran of this game. I have been playing Overwatch since its release in 2016. I don't know when exactly it came out in 2016, but it came out in 2016. I was playing it in 2016. In fact, the very first map I ever played in Overwatch was Illios, and ever since then, Illios, whenever that map comes up in in voting rotation, I'm always going to vote that map. It was the very first map that introduced me to Overwatch, and the first hero I ever played was Cassidy. With that out of the way, I have also, throughout the years, I have spent plenty of money on this game. I've supported this game because I legit love the gameplay loop that it invokes. Back then, when it was 6v6 and now 5v5 and whatever, and we have the 6v6 back, trying to appease the older players who've been around longer than some of the newer players who probably didn't play Overwatch 1, the original. But needless to say, I have supported this game throughout the years. However, the last time I supported Overwatch was back when Kiriko had her mythic skin, Amaterasu. I did not buy this outright because back then you couldn't buy the mythic skin outright unless you wanted to buy however many tiers there were of the battle pass. But I earned this through the battle pass, just through grinding out the game, playing the game, just enjoying the game, not even really worried too much about progressing through the battle pass. And then shortly after that, I think it was season 3, they introduced the mythic skin for Junker Queen. But I stopped playing like a month or two into season 3. I think it was season 3 when they introduced Junker Queen. I can't remember if Genji's mythic was, if it was technically referred to as season 0 or season 1, but I can't remember. But either way, when Junker Queen had her mythic in the battle pass, that's when I basically stopped playing, like a month or so when that dropped, because Overwatch already felt pretty stale back then when it was still referred to as Overwatch 2. Then I only recently came back a few weeks ago. Actually, the first video I posted of Overwatch on my channel, that was actually the first time I played. I came back to Overwatch since then. So it was a long hiatus. Needless to say, a ton of new heroes were added since then, and even more skins that have been added since then. I obviously would love to see all the skins that are currently available for every single hero, but as you can see here with Ashe, the only ones I get to see are her legacy skins as well as what her mythic skin was. But I would love to see the full list of every single skin every single hero has ever had, because I would like to see what I have missed out on. To the event itself, when I heard that Overwatch 2 was going to have its 10th anniversary event, my first thought was, what are the legendary skins going to look like? Because it's going to be for the original 21 heroes, the original 21 heroes who are available at launch. And I was just like everyone else, regardless if they were a veteran or not of 10 years of Overwatch, we did not get a single legendary skin. The couple of positive things I can say about the event is the color scheme. I thoroughly enjoy the purple, white, and gold. As a graphic designer, as an artist, it's a very appealing, very appeasing color scheme to me. Colors just contrast really well. I actually never considered that purple, white, and gold are very, very good contrasting colors. The color scheme is pulled off quite well on a lot of these skins. McCree's is pretty nice. I love the fact that the cylinder on his revolver, as well as his iron sights and the barrel tip, are gold, and then some purple and white accents. And then there's some like Genji's that just don't hit it. Like Genji's looks, I don't know, looks a little terrible. The jacket in particular is, yeah, it doesn't clash well. And then the sheaths for his Shoto and his katana, those could have been colored as well. Like maybe like the Shoto sheath could have been purple with gold accents, or it could have been gold with some purple accents, or it could have been white with some purple accents, and then the main sheath, vice versa with the colors. But it's pretty lazily done here. And then on top of that, another thing that we don't get in this anniversary update, which usually most anniversaries have, or not anniversaries, events, but again, this is coming from the fact that I haven't played the game for years. I don't know if past events that I've missed out on included emotes, like emotes themed around the event, or MVPs, or victory emotes. But look, we don't even have emotes in this in the loot pool for the anniversary drop tables. We don't have a single emote. That's how lazy this thing was. And you know why? Because they were more focused on this, the White Rabbit Mega Bundle that came out with the anniversary update. It would have been better to release it at the beginning of a fresh season, or at the end of the season to kind of, as like a thank you for sticking around for whatever. These are really good skins. They're all nicely detailed. Obviously, they're legendaries. And then you go to the event and then it's just a recolor of their default skin. And on top of that, there's only 2 launch heroes in this bundle, Zarya and Mercy. Everyone else in here is not a launch hero. They are all post-release. Brigitte being the oldest, so she's technically the very first of the 3 heroes in here, obviously. Brigitte was in Overwatch 1. Vendetta, Juno, Domina, they're Overwatch 2, but you get the idea. But still, they poured more effort into making these skins. And I mean, the Mercy skin in particular is it's pretty nice. I love the way it looks. This could have passed easily for an anniversary skin. Same with Zarya. I mean, everyone was thrilled that Zarya finally got a legendary. I don't know how long it's been since Zarya had a legendary skin. I mean, it kind of scares me a little bit because, you know, she's bulky and muscular, but still, it's still a good looking skin. And the fact that it's a legendary for Zarya, I'm pretty sure Zarya back in the original Overwatch had a dry spell of not getting legendary skins. But you can obviously tell where the Overwatch team was more focused on. I don't even know if it was the devs themselves or if this was probably like a corporate thing, like, hey, make sure that the legendary skins are tied into the event that's just filled with nothing but rare skins. They didn't even have the decency to do something like this. Go to Reaper. Reaper has a really neat little epic skin. I know that other characters have it, but Reaper is the only one I'm familiar with as far as like how change up an epic skin to make it look a little bit different than just a recolor of their default skin. But Shiver, this is a classic Overwatch skin. Look how they changed up his Overwatch classic skin and gave it some effects too. Like back then, this was a pretty neat skin for an epic because you got effects in here. You know, the like the icy glow to it, as well as some changes to the gun. Usually you have, and we're gonna go with the Overwatch classic. Here is his classic skin, and we'll go to one of the purple ones like Desert. Like here, I don't know what makes this different from something like Blood or Midnight. Actually, looking back at it, it looks like Desert actually colors. Okay, so maybe that's why they just add a little bit more of the color palette to this skin. But the skull is still the same. Then there's Hellfire. Here's another good example from, was it Shiver? Shiver and Hellfire, really, really good epic skins. They change it just enough to actually warrant the fact that it's an epic skin, a purple skin. This is what they could have done with the event, but they didn't even bother doing that. It's literally a default, or not a default, it's literally a reskin of their Overwatch skin, their current Overwatch skin. And that right there is even more lazily done. They didn't bother tweaking the design or adding some, I don't know, add some designs to it, make the skin stand out. The only positive things I can say from this besides the color scheme is also this. I have it equipped on every hero, but it's the weapon charm. You know, I got my 10-year rewards for being a 10-year veteran, which is a little strange considering there was a period in time where I hadn't played for a couple of years, but this was during Overwatch 2's earlier years. But still, it's pretty neat that I got the this at least. So, you know, I'm at least able to remind myself that I've been playing this game for 10 years. And then the only other positive thing is the challenges. The challenges will give you an epic loot box. I think like a couple of epic loot boxes and a couple of legendary loot boxes. Those ones in particular for me, I'll definitely be looking forward to. Hopefully I get skins from the current era of Overwatch and not get legacy skins. There are a couple of legacy legendary skins I still don't have, so I'm hoping those will pay out. At least for me, it'll be I don't know, like I don't want to say compensation, but at least something to reward my troubles, because, well, it's a very disappointing event for someone like me, for someone like you. If you're also a 10-year veteran of Overwatch, I mean, it's not the way that they were supposed to go about it. I don't care about grinding out the challenges to get more anniversary boxes. I'm not going to bother opening those. I'm just doing the challenges so I can get the epic loot boxes and the legendary loot boxes. Everything else, I don't really care for. Here's the other thing too. The mythic skin for Ana. Obviously, they focused their time and effort into the Ana skin, the White Rabbit skin, the What If skin, and the Loverwatch stuff. I don't know if this is returning stuff or not, What If and Loverwatch. I can say for a fact that White Rabbit is a newer one, but yeah, this is where they put in their effort. And then it's like 10 years of Overwatch was an afterthought for them. They were more focused on making money. I think the only thing that could have made it a little bit better to kind of reduce the sting a little is if these loot boxes, the anniversary stuff, also gave us a small chance to get the White Rabbit stuff at least. You know, it's like I don't know. Make it not sting as much, because it's a shitty event. Disappointing to say the least. What else can I say about the event? I think that's about it. It's about as bland as or my rant is about as bland as the event. I mean, come on, not even emotes, man. No MVP stuff, no victory emotes, nothing. I don't care about the player icons or the name cards or the sprays. For me, it's always emotes, victory emotes, MVPs, and obviously the skins. This would have been just fine right here, all these Decennium skins, if we had legendaries to go with it. I would go as far as to say, for 10 years, they probably should have had a brand new legendary for every single Overwatch hero. The original 21, every single one of them should have had a legendary. That would have been an amazing anniversary. Every single launch hero from Overwatch getting their anniversary themed-ish skin with the color scheme of purple, white, and gold. That would have been an amazing event. All on top of, you know, MVPs, emotes, and the like. But yep, that's my take on it. Unfortunately, the game is fun, so there's that. All right, well, end rant. Alrighty, see you then. Bye-bye.